Well, by now you've probably heard the rumor that the Los Angeles Dodgers plan to ditch the Albuquerque Isotopes this year.
And today we could actually find out what'll happen with our home team. A story in the Houston Chronicle says it is possible the Houston Astros could end up with the Topes. News 13's sports director Van Tate talked with Isotopes general manager John Traub yesterday. Traub says despite all the reports of the Dodgers parting ways with the Isotopes, he has not been told of anything of the sort. Traub says he really doesn't know what to expect today. He's actually in Charlotte, North Carolina for meetings and for the AAA National Championship game. We'll, of course, keep it posted both on air and online.
Of course, the rumors all started about a month ago when a paper out of Oklahoma City said that Oklahoma was going to take the AAA affiliation for the Dodgers. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. An Albuquerque man is expected in court today after he's accused of being drunk and high behind the wheel and running down a bicyclist.
And police say that driver left the bicycle rider for dead. And now we have learned the driver, this gentleman, is a soccer coach at Albuquerque Academy. Police say Corey Lucero had been drinking and smoking marijuana Saturday before he hit and killed Jose Ruiz near Highway 528 in Coors Bypass. They say Lucero admitted he did not see the bike but did feel the impact. Police say he told them he drove away because he was scared. Well, a witness got Lucero's license plate and led police to Lucero shortly after the crash. And according to online court records, this is not the first time Lucero has been in trouble with the law. A year after he was hired as a coach, he was arrested on aggravated assault charges. He is accused of beating someone with a baseball bat after he found his car damaged. Lucero is still waiting to go to court in that case. Now, the judge is not letting the former Sandia High School athletic director accused of trying to frame a basketball coach off the hook. Tom Knobber is accused of planting drug paraphernalia in the office of the head boys basketball coach, Alvin Broussard, who's on the right. Knobber was charged with malicious criminal prosecution, basically trying to set someone up. Sources say a security camera captured Knobber going into Broussard's empty office a day before Knobber claimed he got an anonymous call about the pot paraphernalia. Yesterday, Knobber was not at the hearing. His lawyers were there arguing he's been waiting for the prosecution to hand over evidence in the case, and they asked the judge to drop the charges. The judge said no, and instead gave prosecutors until next Monday to hand over the evidence. Well, the search is now going on for a South Korean teenager volunteering here in New Mexico who's been missing for more than a week. Hyeonshu Chung was last seen September 7th walking out of a Bible study group in Northeast Albuquerque. Chung came to the U.S. with the International Youth Fellowship. It's a Christian-based nonprofit group that allows teens to volunteer and do missionary work. Another volunteer, Joshua Park, says Chung has been in the U.S. less than 2 months and only in Albuquerque about a week. Police checked hospitals and homeless shelters. They could not find Chung. What's even more worrisome, Chung left everything behind: his clothes, his extra shoes, his suitcase, even his passport. Park says Chung's parents broke down in tears after hearing about him disappearing and even suggested sending a family member here to the States.
His mother, when she heard about it, and she said he's a first time, why don't you go to America and find him?
Park says Chung does not have a cell phone, speaks very little English, and may not know how to get back to the group's office. Chung was last seen wearing shorts, a gray t-shirt, and slippers.
A woman is on edge after she says a man wearing only underwear tried to break into her home using garden shears. According to a criminal complaint, 29-year-old Jeremiah Apodaca was sticking his hands through her doggy door, calling for his daughter. When the woman told him she didn't know who he was, she says the man still refused to leave. Well, when police arrived, they say Apodaca was trying to pry open the door and ended up threatening cops. Officers tased Apodaca twice. Even so, they say they got him into cuffs and then he ended up taking off running. Now, the suspect was eventually caught. He is facing several charges, including breaking and entering. A popular area of the petroglyphs, just weeks away from reopening after damaging storms, may be closed a lot longer thanks to vandals. This popular trail right here in the petroglyphs has been damaged again. Storms did a number on the trail in Rinconada Canyon a year ago. Crews at the National Monument have been working since then to fix it. The repairs costing about $100 grand. The National Park Service wanted to have that part of the park reopen in time for Balloon Fiesta, but that apparently is not going to have to happen after what they found yesterday. Nearly 20 posts and 600 feet of cable were damaged. Plus, sand ladders to make it easier to walk through the sand were also destroyed.
I was thinking they must be kidding. I can't imagine why anybody would do this.
Because it is a national monument, this is a federal investigation, but APD is helping out. They checked out footprints, dusted for prints, and collected tools the vandals left behind. 5:36 is now the time. Some parents are concerned a religious float at the State Fair recently, the State Fair parade, may have been a little too shocking.
Yes, this float featured a real man on a crucifix with some stern warnings for the family-friendly crowd. This is the Potter's House Christian Center's float at the State Fair parade from last weekend. On the back there, you see a real man covered in fake blood representing Jesus on the cross, something parents felt was too gruesome for their kids.
I feel like God's a good thing to know about, and you should express it in a good way, but on a float for a family parade, I don't know, that's kind of extreme.
I think it is a little inappropriate. Maybe they could have did without the fake blood, maybe, or made it a little bit not as realistic.
A pastor here at Potter's House Church says the church has had the float at the State Fair for at least the last 10 years and has never gotten any complaints. He says it's not gruesome and that it's only portraying the truth.